Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news now, guys. The Eagles have just made a move that's turning some heads and definitely raising eyebrows across the NFL landscape. They've signed veteran edge rusher Ogbo Okoronkwo, a name that might not be as household as some of the other stars. But trust me, this is a move that could have serious implications for the Eagles' defense this season. The signing was reported by NFL insider Tom Pelissero, and it's already creating buzz among fans and analysts alike. So, what does this mean for the Eagles? Well, let's break it down, because this isn't just about signing another player, it's about strategic positioning as the team prepares for the upcoming season. Okoronkwo's journey to the NFL is quite interesting. Played college football at Oklahoma, a program known for producing NFL talent, and was selected by the Los Angeles Rams in the 5th round of the 2018 NFL Draft. Now, he was picked 160th overall, which isn't a top-round pick, but the Rams saw potential in him. Unfortunately, his rookie season was lost due to a foot injury, so he had to wait a bit to show what he could do. But once he got healthy, it was clear that Ogbo had some real pass-rushing skills. Over the next 3 seasons, he managed to rack up 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and 16 quarterback hits in 39 games played. That's not bad at all for a guy who was fighting for a spot on the roster. Then came the move to Houston after the Rams' Super Bowl LVI victory. Okoronkwo joined the Texans and really started to show his potential. In 17 games with Houston, he recorded 5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, and 11 quarterback hits, earning himself a 3-year, $19 million contract with the Cleveland Browns. And let me tell you, his performance with Cleveland was solid. Over 2 seasons and 30 games, he racked up 5 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, and 14 quarterback hits. For a player who's still trying to prove himself as a consistent threat on the edge, these numbers are quite promising. But as most of you probably know, NFL rosters are always in flux, and in late June, Cleveland decided to part ways with Okoronkwo. Now, this was described by some as a surprising move, but if you look closer, it makes a lot of sense from a cap perspective. Cleveland was able to free up about $4 million in salary cap space by releasing him, and they took that opportunity to bring in other pass rushers, more versatile, cheaper options that fit their long-term plans. That's the business side of the NFL, and sometimes, even good players get cut simply because of roster needs and cap management. So, where does that leave Ogbo now? Well, he's heading to Philadelphia, and that's a team that's always looking to improve its pass rush. The Eagles have high hopes for their young guys. Nolan Smith, the first-round pick last year, showed flashes of brilliance down the stretch, and Jalix Hunt, their 3rd-rounder from this year, has also been gaining attention. Both these guys are expected to contribute significantly this season, but they're still relatively unproven compared to some of the league's established pass rushers. Behind them, the Eagles have taken a flyer on free agents like Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uch, trying to see if they can bring some additional pass-rushing juice to the rotation. Now, Okoronkwo finds himself in a very similar position. He's not yet a guaranteed starter, but he's got the experience, the attitude, and the potential to carve out a meaningful role. His signing is seen by many as a low-cost, high-reward gamble. It's not a blockbuster move, but it's a smart addition that fills a need on the edge. And at 30 years old, Ogbo isn't exactly in the early stages of his career, but he's proven enough to believe he can still be a difference-maker in certain situations. Plus, his attitude and work ethic are highly regarded, which is always a plus when building a team culture. Let's talk a bit about his recent performance metrics, because that gives us a clearer picture of what he brings to the table. According to Pro Football Focus, pass rush productivity metric, Okoronkwo finished 25th out of 122 players in 2021 with the Rams, which is quite impressive. The following year, with Houston, he was tied for 25th again out of 126 players, showing consistency. In 2023, with Cleveland, he was tied for 55th out of 118, which might seem like a dip but still respectable considering the talent around him. This year in 2024, he's tied for 89th out of 119 players, a slight decline, but again, it's about context. The NFL is super competitive, and even being in the top 100 among thousands of pass rushers is no small feat. What does this mean for the Eagles? Well, considering the relatively low investment in Okoronkwo, it's a gamble worth taking. The team's pass rush has always been a critical part of their identity, especially with their defensive scheming under coordinator Sean Desai. Having a veteran like Ogbo, who has shown flashes of explosiveness and motor, could be exactly what the Eagles need to bolster their edge presence. It's not just about the stats, though they are encouraging, it's also about adding depth and competition, which can push the younger players to elevate their game. Now, let's not forget the physical profile of Okoronkwo. He doesn't possess the ideal height, weight, or length that teams typically look for on the edge, and he's not the most athletic guy in terms of bend or explosiveness. But what he does have is solid build, good aggression, and a motor that doesn't quit. He plays with a lot of effort, and that's something that coaches love. He's the kind of player who, even if he's not the most physically gifted, makes up for it with hustle and technique. His flashes of explosiveness suggest that with the right coaching and scheme fit, he can develop further and become a reliable rotational player, or even push for a starting role. For the Eagles, this signing is about depth, yes, but also about potential. They're betting on his experience, his attitude, and his ability to contribute in specific packages. With the competition at edge rusher still open, Ogbo adds a layer of unpredictability that could serve the team well. And let's be honest, every team needs that veteran presence who's been around the block, understands the league, and can step in when called upon. Looking at the bigger picture, the Eagles' front is in an interesting spot heading into training camp. Nolan Smith, their young first-round pick, has shown promise, and Jalix Hunt is quickly making a name for himself. But they still need to fill out the rotation, and that's where a player like Okoronkwo comes in. He's got the experience and the motor to be a reliable contributor, even if he doesn't have the elite traits of a prototypical superstar pass rusher. His signing is a calculated move that fits into the team's broader strategy of building a versatile, aggressive defense that can adapt to different opponents. The NFC East is always a battleground, and last season proved just how intense and competitive this division can be. The Eagles, with their Super Bowl aspirations, know that every edge, every sack, and every pressure counts. Adding a veteran like Ogbo Okoronkwo gives them more options on the front line, more depth for those critical third-down situations, and hopefully, more sacks and pressures that can turn games around. It's about stacking the deck with talent, experience, and a little bit of grit, qualities that define the Eagles' identity. So, as we look ahead to training camp and the preseason, keep an eye on Ogbo. Will he make the final roster? That's still to be seen, but the fact that the Eagles brought him in signals their intention to compete, to push their young talents, and to have a flexible, dynamic front that can cause chaos for any quarterback. It's a move that might fly under the radar for now, but trust me, come September, Ogbo could very well be making some game-changing plays in a Birds uniform. And before I wrap up, let me remind you, pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now what do you guys think? Is this the kind of move that can push the Eagles over the top? Are you excited to see Ogbo in action? How do you see him fitting into the defensive scheme this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for all the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. Thanks for being with us, and as always, go Birds!